All right, let's take another call. Let's go to Christopher in Butte, Montana. Christopher, what's going on?
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, man. So what's up?
Okay, well, just to probably make something brief that's a bit more than brief. Ever since I was a kid, I'm 23 now, but
Okay.
Ever since I was a kid, 12, 14, I've always been almost too good at talking to people, and that has probably since I was 14, 15, has almost made me a compulsive liar.
Okay.
And it's dug its nastiness into my marriage, and I don't really know. Well, I know how to fix it, but I'm scared to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really just don't know what to do.
Awesome.
So that's why I'm calling.
Well, dude, this is hard, and I've been there. I had the same challenge growing up, and I watched an executive self-destruct with the same problem, and I had a ringside seat to, this is how this ends. And it was almost like a light switch in my life. And so I'm grateful that at 23, you're able to recognize this in yourself and want to do something about it. Backing up, man, why do you believe that this true story of you, Christopher, is of less value than the concocted story that you tell?
That's a deep question. I feel like I feel like I'm a fairly smart person, and in a lot of circumstances, I know what the right thing or what I should be doing is.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, for some reason, maybe laziness, maybe something along those lines, I don't do what that right thing is, but I don't want to admit that,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
So give me an example.
Let's see. A really good example, this is one of the big ones that I'm trying to figure out how to deal with. So my wife and I were going to school right now, online. And I'll be honest, school has not been my forte. College, it's been really rough. But I haven't figured out how to tell my wife that. She's a big believer in making sure we have a degree, and we're doing fairly well. I'm a store manager, but regardless, I guess I'm scared to tell her that, if that makes sense. But
that's what I'm
told her that.
I'm trying to get to the root here. There's a story that you've been told, and that over time you've adopted, and you tell yourself that the things that you want to do in your life aren't valuable, or aren't worth, or aren't enough. And so you create personas that you are a little bit tougher, a little bit faster. You hooked up with a few more people. You ran a little bit faster than you actually did. You scored a few more points in this, whatever the things are. And because at some deep level, the narrative that you've adopted is what Christopher wants is not good. What Christopher wants is less than. And so you spend your life creating an alt universe for everybody around you.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you're living an alt universe, you start living multiple alt universes, and the only thing that tamps that down is addiction. And the only thing that tamps that down is stimulation somewhere else, right? And so when you are, I'll just use your example, right? And you can tell me if I'm out to lunch here. You don't like being in school. You would rather not be. You know that your wife really values it, so you miss a class, and then you miss another class, and then you don't do super great on assignment, and then you don't tell her. And now you got a secret between you. You planted a seed, and it's a secret. And then you've had that weird feeling when she says, "How was school?" And just you blurt out, "Cool, man, going great. How's that test?" "It was good." And now that secret, you watered it, right? And now it's growing up between you. And then you feel that gap and that distance, and the only thing that makes that gap and distance go away, it doesn't make it go away, not burn a hole in you, is pornography, talking to somebody else at work that you can be flirty with, another drink, just watching episodes after episodes. You start having to fill that gap with something else because you've created a gap in the relationship. Am I onto something? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are.
Okay. Not that I've lived this, but I'm just saying, right? So here's what you got to do. There's only one way through this, and you know what it is, right? Mm-hmm. But it's you think you know what it is, but you actually don't. It's going to be a little bit different. First and foremost, you got to come clean on all of it. And the story you just told me about school is the most sanitized one of these things. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the one giant thing that you're holding on to that you haven't told her?
Well, there's two.
Okay.
And one is sort of a root of all of this, but the first big one is it's school related. I'm on the verge of getting kicked out.
Okay.
And the second one is pornography related.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you cheat on her when y'all were dating?
No, that is one line I've never crossed, fortunately.
All right, good. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to have that conversation with her. You're going to let her know it's coming, okay? And you're going to tell her, hey, we have to talk about some hard things, and so I want you to clear your schedule, and it's going to be a couple hours, and I've got some stuff I need to talk to you about. Number one, she's probably going to know more about this than you think she does. Occasionally, people are totally blindsided, but often not. And then number two, before you have that conversation, you've got to get with a male friend of yours, a guy friend, and tell him everything, all of it. And you have to commit to somebody, not your wife, that this is the last dishonest thing you ever say and or do, period.
Okay.
The only way forward is to keep a sentence in mind that a mentor of mine told me. His name is Randy Harris, and he said, the greatest question anybody can ever ask themselves is this: is integrity something you can sort of have? Is integrity something you can mostly have? And I don't draw a lot of hard lines, but I do draw a hard line about that. Because dishonesty and stealing destroys people. And if you just tell this to your wife, you are too smart and too quick, and you will wrap this up. And she wants so hard to believe in you that she will buy whatever box of crap you're trying to sell her. And you know that, and I know that. So you've got to bring somebody else into this conversation that's going to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. It'd be really cool if it was your dad, or if it was her dad, or somebody of high importance that you really want their approval. You really want them to speak in your life. But my guess is one or both of those men probably contribute to this challenge, so that might not be best. If you've got a spiritual mentor that you trust, if you've got an older, wiser gentleman that you trust, an old college professor, somebody that will speak into your life and will call you regularly and say, are you still telling the truth? Right? Or that when you do slip up and lie, you can let them know, hey, I screwed up today. Almost like an AA meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you actually going to do that or no?
No, that actually sounds like something I want to do.
Okay.
I don't know really how to explain it, and I mean, maybe you have heard this or can understand it, but it's a lot to...
Yes.
It's like I'm always worrying about it, you know?
Yes.
It's weird. I've never talked about this out loud, so this is a lot.
Yes, it's a ton, right? And you will, you'll feel better after this call. You'll feel better after this call. You will know, because here's the thing, you're carrying around a sack full of bricks, man. All the lies, but beneath the lies is this narrative that what I want and what I value doesn't matter. And so I've got to keep everybody around me happy, and the way I keep them happy is by giving them all stories, different versions of myself. You got to stop. Today, I will never lie. I will never steal again. And when I slip up on one of those, I'm going to go to the ends of the earth to make it right, to call it out, to be over the top about it. Okay? I appreciate your bravery, Christopher. Today's the day. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make that declaration today. Call somebody today. Talk to him about it. And then let your wife know we're going to meet this weekend. We need to have some direct conversations. And by the way, don't flunk out of school. Don't flunk out of school. There's no professor on earth that wants to flunk you out of school. That's you deciding, I'm going to make a statement. Don't do that. At the very least, go to your professors and say, hey, I need to take a incomplete. I need to talk about this. I haven't been doing my work. But don't choose to flunk out of school, man. That's choosing to take one of those bricks out of your backpack and just hit yourself in the head with it. That's a waste of time. All right? So you're on it now. You're on the America's clock. The dishonesty stops today. Right? All right, everybody. We'll be right back. Stay tuned on the Dr. John Delony Show.